competition was to write a proposal of an experiment in microgravity. The winning proposal would be one that was of enough importance to be worthy of, going to the International Space Station. We did a lesson on microgravity so that they would understand what any experiment would go through. They would have to write a real research proposal just like any scientist. They would have to come up with an experiment that had the same sort of constraints as any type of experiment. They had to work inside of a very small tube. Their project is the growth of mint in microgravity. They came up with mint as something that was organic, that could be used instead of medications, pharmaceuticals. They also wanted to do something that was beneficial to astronauts on the International Space Station. Also, they started looking into and doing research about the fact that mint is a very hardy plant and can grow really easily. They wrote a very successful proposal about that. When we won, we thought we were done. We thought that was it. We were like, cool, it's done. Now we just put it together and ship it off, and that's fantastic. Well, that was like the opening the floodgates. They had to go through a very intense review process. We had a lot of real-time, real-life deadlines that were presented to us through this program. There was constant communication and letting us know that reviews need to be made. So they had to run all of these tests and experiments in this time and then report back. This was work that I wasn't doing until I was in college, for sure. It was an amazing thing for them to experience and to just be able to hang in there and do. That was fantastic because they presented their research underneath the Space Shuttle Discovery. There were 41 other communities that had participated. And so they were there presenting as well, from 6th grade to undergraduates, which was amazing to really see all of these microgravity researchers that had gone through this really intense process. A lot of people spoke about how the students, the microgravity researchers from Kansas City, had inspired them at the end of the conference. We were able to go down to Florida, and that was fantastic. It was such a fun opportunity. We did go to the Kennedy Space Center, and they presented their poster at the Kennedy Space Center, as well as have their video that they made put up on the Jumbotron at the VIP launch site.
We are the Cosmic Comets from the Student Spaceflight Experiments Program in Kansas City, Kansas.
The title of our experiment is The Growth of Mint in Microgravity. We want to see if mint can grow in microgravity, because if so, it can be beneficial to astronauts.
We chose this investigation because we wanted to help astronauts. We know that mint has a lot of health benefits, such as reducing fevers, soothing sore throats, and helping upset stomachs.
If our experiment is successful, it will prove that we can grow mint in space. Not only will it prove that we can grow mint, it will also prove that we can grow plants in general. If we are capable of growing plants in general, we could explore space without constant need to resupply.
It was always a possibility that the launch would slip. We knew that from October.
And here we approach decision time. 5 seconds rather.
Hold on countdown 1. Launch board's running.
It did end up slipping that day, and we ended up having to come home the next day.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. And liftoff of the Falcon 9 rocket and the Dragon spacecraft. On the heels of the 50th anniversary of Apollo 11's return from the moon, we send more science and supplies up to the International Space Station.
Flight operation. Stage 1 propulsion is nominal.
We were at the airport watching it on our phones when it took off. It was really still just a cool thing to say, hey, there it goes.
Great shot.
part of the experiment is that we are running a ground truth experiment at the exact same time. We will have to start our ground truth experiment at the same time as the International Space Station astronauts to make sure that we have data that will compare and be accurate. I think that it's an amazing project to bring this level of research to students of this age range and say, hey, this is what you're working towards. They talked about how this experience has changed how they feel about college and how they feel about themselves as students.
Before this experiment, I never thought I was going to ever go to college. I thought I was just going to go to high school. Never ever going to, I was going to finish life with just a high school graduate. I never thought I would be able to pay for college. But now, I feel like I actually have an opportunity to go to college.
It's been such a joy to watch that in them, watch them see themselves grow, because I watch it and I see it, but for them to see it, that's what's been the most impressive to me.